Hi, I'm Dr. Daniel. I'm a UTAR biomedical science pioneer alumni in 2008. So I grew up at Tepahat, Johor before moving to KL to pursue my degree with UTAR. After that, I received a scholarship by the Japanese government to pursue postgraduate study in Master and PhD of Neuroscience. And following that, I moved to Singapore after my postgrad graduation to become a faculty at the National University of Singapore. Initial thought we have was to publish paper, win grants for KPI, but what changed my perspective was when we look at the patient themselves. The patient are desperate with no treatment options or something like that, and we have empathy for the patient. Then you realize the value of scientific research in developing therapeutics, even at the early stage, the first step, because you always need the first step to reach the end point. Yeah. So in 2014, when I graduated with my PhD in neuroscience, during that time it's still a very one-directional neuroscience, molecular and cellular. But as we move on, especially across the COVID period, we realized that interdisciplinary science is the next direction of science. So you need different field of science to converge together to develop new therapy and technology. So my research actually it's in light therapeutics in brain cancer and also optogenetics. One of the reasons why we think interdisciplinary science is important because sometimes the answer lies outside of our field. So in the case of, let's put an example, in the case of vaccine, COVID vaccine, RNA vaccine, for the RNA vaccines to be successful, you actually need to the RNA has to be coated with a lipid layer. So this is actually from the chemistry department. And if you don't converge fields, don't try to find answers from different fields, actually you'll find it very difficult to find a solution just based solely on your field. So we are developing wireless light therapeutics in brain cancer and also different kind of cancer in the body, where we have developed the light delivery technology that's wireless and flexible, non-electronics. We have a patent on that. I'm actually the first in the world to develop the upconversion hydrogel implant and silicon implant. We are now transferring this into a veterinary trial in Singapore and Malaysia. So I actually do have existing collaboration with Malaysia, with several universities, and with the aim of bringing this light technology to the clinical stage. This is important for us because we now can have very focused treatment on the cancer itself. So it's not a systemic process like chemotherapy or radiotherapy. If you have a focal point of light shining at a specific tumor area, you can limit the side effects just on that area itself. This is a very interesting question again. I always have to tell the students or everything, if you want work-life balance when you are 50 or 60 years old, you must work very hard when you are 20 to 40 years old. So generally there's no, I mean it's up to you, but there's no work-life balance in between. You must achieve your goals. You have to be goal-oriented. So everything that you are working on, whether I want to finish my project, I want to publish my paper, I want to do my PhD or anything, you have to be focusing on that goals. Then you will know how long you'll need to work each day to achieve those things in time. Another important point is you must always remember in life, nothing goes as planned. So in Japan, we have a Great Eastern Earthquake that delayed my PhD for 2 years. And now we have COVID that delayed my research for 2-3 years. So if you have a deadline, make sure that you complete those things 1 to 2 years before your deadline to be very safe. The worst life experience that I had was in Sendai. So I graduated from Tokyo University, Japan. Sendai is the epicenter of the greatest earthquake ever happened to Japan. And during that time, there was a great tsunami, and my lab was destroyed by the earthquake. So that was a lot of traumatizing experience. But it also taught me to appreciate whatever I'm doing. After post-earthquake, it taught me to appreciate my work, appreciate my life better, to really be serious about things and give everything you can, and don't try to cut corners. Just do your best with life. Make sure you live the fullest to it. Next generation UTARian, I will always hope that as I mentioned, you see, so experience is the best teacher. So sometimes it's difficult to understand what seniors try to convey or your lecturer try to convey. But once you have experienced it, you understand. You have to give your very best at everything you do, with the idea that there are things that you cannot control. You may or may not be successful. You may not achieve your goal, but you have tried your best. Because the probability of achieving your goal when you have tried your best is higher than when you are not trying. So it's all a probability. There's no guarantee in life. The second thing, as I mentioned in the speech earlier, especially in Singapore, we are looking more towards soft skills. Academic skills assessments are important to gain entry, but in real life, you have a real problem, unexpected problem. You must be resilient, you must be determined, you must have the humility, humble, you must be able to engage people, talk to people. So it doesn't mean that you have good grades and everything, you'll be very successful. You have good grades, but you're not humble, you cannot talk to people, you don't want to do certain jobs, then usually that will bring the downfall, because the world and the textbook is two totally different things. I mean, always just do your best and hope for the best. Remember that nothing is guaranteed in life, but just give your best and just enjoy your life, give your best, that's it. Yeah, I'm very thankful to UTAR for teaching me not only the academics, but great mentors. I've just mentioned Prof. Anthony Ho, Prof. Ling Yang Moy, Dr. Kim, Dr. Chu, and all my lecturers. So these are the mentors who have shaped me over the time, although it's just an undergrad. But because of the good teaching, you see, you remember your mentors. And you remember that you have to be humble, you have to be humble, you have to be resilient in face of challenges. You see, when there was an earthquake, actually we didn't have electric, we didn't have water, we have minimum food. We usually had like 1 bread per day, but you have to have that kind of mental strength to move on. So if you have difficult experiments, you must have the mental strength to pursue it and not give up. So a lot of students, they have difficult experiments, they say, oh, I'll just join the industry. I'll quit and join the industry. But actually the industry will also have the same problem, the same difficult problem. So there's no running away from problems. You just have to do your best to face them and stay composed.